Well, hello everybody. As per usual, we didn't do a podcast last week, did we, Dash?
No,
We skipped it.
we forgot.
But
we
nonetheless,
forgot.
We did not forget. We were just extremely busy.
Oh yes.
And this week, of course, as per usual, it's the dashing dot on my left, and we do have a very special guest with us today, Glitzyphoenix, the one and only. Hello, Glitzy.
Hi.
It's so good for you. It's so good that you joined us today.
It's a pleasure. Thanks
She
for
was
asking
so
me.
she was so unsure. She was like, I don't have anything to add. What do I have of value? I don't. Of course, Glitzy, the value is in you being.
Exactly.
That's the main part.
I messaged her and asked her about a skill video, and she was like, I don't know anything about skills, but I'll learn them for you so we can make the video. I was like, you don't need to know anything.
So today we have quite a few really interesting topics, in my opinion, thinking forward, of course, and in retrospect as well. But streaming platforms, there's been quite a few different things happening around the webs. Quite a few different companies and people in general making some very, very bold and I would say very interesting moves in terms of both technology, but as well as, of course, content and just general platforms. I mean, we've got just yesterday, I followed one of my Russian friends across from Twitch onto another platform called Trovo. Very new platform, extremely new. From what I understand, it used to be called Mad Cat TV. Had some pretty interesting technological what's the best way to put it? Availability, I don't know. But 10K bit rate. I mean, of course, Mixer also did 10K bit rate, but we all know how that went. But Trovo is interesting to me because it is new, because it is a new platform. Not that I'm going to move to Trovo, don't get me wrong. But it's interesting that people are still looking to expand and create something new in the light of what's happened to Mixer and a few other platforms as well. I don't know. What do you think? I'll ask Glitzy first. What do you think, Glitzy, about new and upcoming platforms?
I think it's always healthy to have competition, of course. I don't know. There's a few that are coming up. I don't know. It's going to be really tough for them to kind of compete with Twitch, though. Obviously, it's definitely tough out there.
Give me a first impression of when you first saw Trovo, because you did check out Trovo earlier when we were talking.
Yeah,
about
for
it
sure. Obviously, it looks exactly like Twitch, so it's very straight away. Actually, as soon as you open it, you feel kind of at home because you're so used to Twitch that you go, "Oh, cool! You could start navigating this website without any issues and feel quite comfortable with it."
Yeah. That's exactly that was my impression as well. And I think that was the marketing trick behind that.
Yeah, I think that's actually very good. And in fact, something which I said when we first started talking about, oh my god, it's so similar. It's so similar. I think that when it comes to creating something new, using something which already exists as a baseline to then propel yourself. And then change it as you go, of course, so that it's not just a carbon copy and whatever. I think that's a good thing, in my opinion, because you take something that works, you make it into something which is your own, and then you just kind of you work with it, and you evolve.
Yeah, I think some of the things that I heard about Mixer, I didn't really look at it much myself, was that the interface of Mixer was just not very intuitive. Just so different to Twitch that people didn't really like it.
Yeah. In fact,
people don't like change.
Yeah.
In terms of that.
Right. Not only, but two very major things on Twitch have changed recently. both the layout of course, the creator studio, that's kind of like the back end, as well as the general layout of Twitch. Of course, not the front page. The front page still looks the same, but you go to anybody else's page, doesn't really matter. Sure, if it's a live stream that's actually live at the time, it will look more or less the same, but the offline screen threw me when I first saw it so hard. Oh my God. I just wasn't even sure what I was looking at. In fact, I did the whole hold down control and zoom out thing with the new layout. It just didn't even look like I wasn't even sure what I really
It looked
wasn't
like
sure
a 12-year-old made it.
Yeah, actually, like for real, it really did. It looked like I don't know. But anyway,
but I in general, and why Trovo or other platforms might become successful, in my opinion, is because people are hungry for something new. With Mixer going down, like I don't know if you've seen that massive. I think it's a troll. That massive troll on Twitter about Brime or Brim or whatever it was.
I think Brime is trying to be something. Whether it will happen, I very much doubt it. I'm not sure.
But the storm on that Twitter account was so huge. Everybody was talking about it because everybody is literally looking for something different that actually works. But the problem is, the stuff that Twitch is doing is so massive. Like hosting so many people at the same time is massive. I don't know. Yes, people get frustrated with the quality of streams, or the content creators are frustrated if they're not partnered, they can't have a higher bitrate, or I don't know. I don't even know what bitrate can partners have. Glitzy.
I think it's 6K.
No. You guys can. No, it's you guys can have 8K. You can upload an 8K. But generally, what I would usually do, because I can only upload in 6K anyway, so I would upload in 6.5K. Twitch will then cut off that 500, but then I won't drop below 6K. But if I upload
6K, but
yeah, that's interesting. Well, that shouldn't be the case, because partners. That's one of the perks of being a partner on Twitch, is that you have more resources available to you. Let's see. Start uploading in 8K. For real. Like, actually.
Yeah.
And of course, we still don't know what happened to Dr. Disrespect.
Of course.
We still don't know. Big mystery. Where will he reappear? Are you going to call him and find out that? Is that what's happening?
Him right now.
Okay. Yeah. But I think that, of course, competition is good. I think that
Trovo
is good. And yes, the layout was weird. And you know what? Whenever something big happened, I watched Mixer. I actually watched Shroud on Mixer for some time, because I kind of like Shroud. I like the way that he plays. I kind of, I just like the way that he carries, his streams and whatever, the way that he interacts and stuff. I think it's cool.
Yeah.
And he always had his very specific way of interacting with chat, even though it looks like he's ignoring his chat most of the time. But he's really not. He really is not. Like, that's the beauty of it. And you can only see that over time if you've watched Shroud. And in fact, any big content creator with a lot of viewers. But Mixer did this thing where, even on mobile, where something happened, like, there was some sort of a big donation received, or maybe a bunch of gift subs or something, they would do this like confetti type thing over the whole screen, whether it was on PC or on mobile. And I found that so bizarre. Now, Twitch has done something very similar too. If you haven't noticed yet, if you haven't seen it yet, on channels which have no subs, who have just received their affiliate, the first 10 subs will get the founder badge.
Yeah.
for that
Yes.
channel.
Yeah, they have
And
it for a while.
every time there is a new founder on a channel, the Twitch like UI, the whole Twitch page will do that as well with
Oh,
the
I didn't see
confetti
that.
thing. Yeah,
Yeah,
if you haven't seen that, it will.
We all probably have past our 10 partners. It's 25, the first 25, right? So I would not have seen that.
Maybe.
No, the people I'm watching that they have beyond 10, 25 subs. But that's interesting. That's very interesting.
Yeah, Twitch has done something similar, but it's just not on the scale that Mixer does it, or used to do it, in fact. Because I like I said, I used to watch Shroud, and he used to have this confetti crap all over the screen. I was just, what is this? Stop. Just please. Why? No. I'm here to watch Shroud, not freaking confetti.
Can you sub on Trovo?
Yes.
People?
In fact, Trovo has a really interesting feature with subbing.
Okay.
You can go up to 1080p on obviously streams, like whatever, right? If they are outputting in 1080p.
Mm-hmm.
But you can get more than 1080p if you sub. I don't know how that works.
What?
Yeah. So there is
Okay.
resolutions which will give you basically there's higher resolutions above 1080p. And I like I said, my friend, he's already affiliated with Trovo or whatever. And there was in the quality options, there was 1080p, 720, and whatever, right? Like 480 and 360 or whatever. And then there was one above that with a little like star on the end of it. You click it, and it's like, oh, please subscribe for even higher quality.
Oh, I see.
Okay.
I think that's pretty clever.
That's
you still get 1080p.
Good, yeah. Mm-hmm.
You still get 1080p, but do you want more quality? Hey, give us a 5.
But you have those settings on every channel, because on Twitch you only get them like as an affiliate. You have to restart your stream until you finally got a slot for it, right? Yeah.
Encoding, yeah.
But they have it for every
true.
channel.
From what I understand at the moment, yes.
It's very interesting. How much is a sub there?
I was just going to ask
know.
that. Yeah.
I don't know. I
see.
think you might be able to set the amount that people pay. Kind of like what Mixer used to do as well. I think you can set the amount per sub, but there has to be a but. I think there's probably, like logically thinking, there's most likely a link between how much a sub costs and supporting that quality that will then be offered to you as a subscriber on that platform. There has to be some sort of a link there.
I'll definitely look into that. I'd be interested in how much Trovo wants per sub.
It's $4.99 subscription.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you know what? That $5 or $4.99 or whatever it is, there is actually so much that goes into that sum. In fact, it becomes even more apparent when you start watching on mobile, because a sub on Twitch, when you're on PC, does not cost you the same as a sub on mobile.
Oh, really?
No, it's more expensive.
Yeah. Do you know why?
No.
The reason why there's like a $2 discrepancy. So, for instance, in euros on mobile, I would have to pay $6.99 for a sub to anyone. It doesn't really matter. For a $5 sub on Twitch. The reason why that's a thing is because the platform that you get the app from. So, for instance, I have an Android phone. Google Play Market or the Google Play Store will take a cut from that.
Yeah.
And it's the same as iTunes as well. You download Twitch from or iTunes or iStore, whatever. I can't even remember. I don't have Apple. I haven't had an Apple phone for years now. Whatever their Apple Store is, you download Twitch from there, and then the Apple Store will take that extra discrepancy. So it's the platform, essentially. It's the routing that it takes to get to you specifically.
Cheeky.
Yeah. So that $5.99 across the board, regardless of the platform, there is actually a lot that goes into it. There's a lot that goes into it.
That's wow.
Yeah.
So subscribing on mobile is pretty much
don't do it.
Yeah,
Stupid.
it gets me every time because I usually only can watch Twitch via mobile because I'm always kind of watching Twitch while I'm on the go. So if I ever subscribe to anybody, I'm doing it through mobile. So I've overpaid so much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's actually horrible.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a shame.
it's a shame.
Because the creator doesn't get any more money.
No.
He doesn't even know. He
Yeah,
doesn't even
exactly.
see it.
You don't see it. It's a mobile subscription. That's right.
Nope. I mean, obviously, Prime is a Prime. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
but I think you do. If I'm not mistaken, you do get more from Prime.
you do,
From
yeah.
Twitch, yeah.
It's only a few cents, but
Yeah, but you still get more.
Yeah.
Which is also weird to me. Sort of. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. I
but
think it's pretty logical in my opinion. You using Amazon services for other Amazon services. Sure, there's most likely going to be some sort of, oh, you're within the Amazon ecosystem. Okay, we'll we'll give you a little bit more because you're using Amazon products. I think that makes sense. And you're not just like paying, you're actually within the ecosystem, and that's what we want.
So I mean, I'll keep an eye on Trovo for sure. I made an account, and I said this before, just to block my username.
Yeah.
I can definitely recommend that to everybody.
Yeah.
Because you never know. This might explode, and all of a sudden it's 50-50 between Twitch and Trovo, and then you're like, uh-oh, somebody's streaming under my name.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm gonna, Trovo does the interface feels very nice because it's what you're used to. So I think it's got a good chance because of that. They just need to kind of get people there.
Yeah.
How you do that, I have no idea.
It's awareness. I was just about to say it's awareness. So for instance, like us talking about it right now, the people that will listen to this podcast will definitely be aware. Most likely will check it out. But it is the long term. It is the long term in the way that they carry the rest of that success, whether they are able to harness that success, which again, Mixer wasn't able to harness that success. And I think the reason why they weren't able to harness that success is because they were extremely aggressive in expanding. They couldn't handle the amount of potential that they all of a sudden received. They didn't get back the value that they paid by buying up large streamers.
Yeah, the Ninja and Shroud. I mean, I think Shroud moved 5K people over from Twitch to Mixer regularly. Yeah. You don't know, they might still watch Twitch at the same time. And Ninja, I don't know how much he averaged on Mixer, but and then they gave everybody a free sub, I think.
To Ninja, yeah.
And to Shroud too.
Oh, maybe. There you go.
I was there and I didn't even use it because I couldn't be bothered to actually create an account on Mixer because the site did look so confusing to begin with. I can name you a few other examples. I see a lot of people move to DLive, which is another unknown streaming platform that a few content creators, found. They seemingly found a new home there, but nobody really knows about it. So I can't imagine that there's anybody averaging 1,000 viewers on that platform. And how do you make that big? Of course, you got to have everybody talking about it to begin with. I've not seen a single tweet about Trovo in my timeline. Not a single one.
Yep.
The only reason I knew about Trovo is because Devin Nash talked about it. So, otherwise I would have never found out.
I've got to say, looking at DLive, again, it's got a very similar interface. And it actually looks like there's more people on that than Trovo.
Yeah, it's been around way long. I mean, like Sneaky said, Trovo is like what, 13 weeks?
Yeah.
Yeah, so DLive is around since a very long time already.
Okay.
But at the end, if you, I don't know, name me the biggest channel you see right there. How many viewers?
We're 1,000 channel. I mean, I'm looking at
Channel,
categories here.
1,700.
1,700, yeah.
And it's all Brawl Stars or whatever. And it's a
Probably
mobile game.
Yeah.
It looks like a mobile game.
And I think I honestly think like if you look at DLive, if you look at Trovo, a lot of these platforms are sort of capturing all these streamers that do exactly that, mobile games or mobile-esque games.
That's so weird in my opinion.
And because I can tell you this, my son was playing this something where you had two sides and could place armies, and they would walk and try to destroy the enemy towers. It was a very popular mobile game. And that has been streamed on Twitch, and the guy pulled in thousands of people, like young children, of course, too, right? And you had in-game buy options for like their currency, whatever, in-app. And I think these platforms are literally perfect for those games, because on Twitch, in my opinion, the average age is now at around 22 to 23 years old.
Well, apparently now, the average age of the gamer now is 35.
There you go.
Yeah, well,
I didn't know that.
Because I don't actually know if that's true. Because Sneaky, how old are you?
31.
Glitzy, you shouldn't ask a lady how old she is. But...
It's a mystery.
Okay, but you're not.
We shall never know.
But you're not 35 and older, right? You can say that. But I am.
She's staying silent. Dash. Just quit. Abort. Dashing. Just abort. Dash. Abort now.
I'm the only one here then that's above that age. So it's literally. I don't know if the average age is 35 for a gamer, because I know a lot of people who are 17, 18, 19, 20, around that. And then, of course, I know a lot of people who are 40, 50 plus. Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
To an extent, I can believe that. Do you know why? Because the average age, I think, is rising. And I think that there's less younger people because people are having kids later.
Yes, but that's all beyond the point. I think the average age on Twitch is higher than the average age on other platforms.
Okay, sure.
Right?
Yeah, I can agree there.
And what do younger generations play? They don't play Tarkov, you know. They don't play like super serious games necessarily, but they like to watch mobile games. They like to watch Fortnite, maybe. They like to, you know, Minecraft is still a big thing. I think you can find that on every platform.
Yeah, Minecraft, Roblox.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know. I think there's the difference. And if they really want to grow, then Mixer did a right and wrong thing. I wouldn't have necessarily pulled over Shroud and Ninja. I probably would have targeted more diverse streamers. Like Sequisha would be my top pick. If you can get Sequisha, you know, that beard on Twitch is known to everybody.
Yeah.
If somebody has an emote of Sequisha with that beard, everybody knows, yeah, that's Sequisha. So I don't know. I think they did it wrong. And they didn't talk about it that much. Like Mixer, like that's why I like to use Brime. Like them shrouding themselves in a cloud of mystery, you know, and everybody is jumping on it. I didn't see anything like that from Mixer, from DLive, or from Trovo. So it's like with Tarkov, their social media managers must suck.
Sorry. They don't suck. They're not that bad. They used to be pretty bad, but they're getting better.
Okay, they used to be pretty bad, and now they're just bad.
Okay. That's your opinion.
Yes, of course. Yes, absolutely.
Right.
Do you think that it's a possibility that Dr. Disrespect and other people could potentially, in the very near future, pop up with a brand new streaming platform?
Possible.
Yes.
Very possible.
I mean, there's been so many like tweets about he breached his contract with Twitch or whatnot. I mean, that's all assumptions, right? Nobody really knows.
Of course, yeah, nobody knows.
No one knows.
But of course, I mean, that could be a possibility. He might as well just turn up on YouTube. You don't know, right? It's like, yeah, I don't know. Maybe he's in jail right now. Nobody knows. It's crazy.
No, I mean, he spoke a lot about how streaming platforms were, doing things wrong, and if he had the opportunity, if he could do it, yeah, he spoke a lot about that. So I definitely think that it's something that he would dip his toes into if he had the opportunity.
But if you remember the move from Ninja to Mixer, his comment was, that is a wrong move. The future in streaming is with Twitch. This is the only platform because of the market share, la la la. That's what Dr. Disrespect said back then. He repeated that when Shroud moved. He was wrong with two things though. They made their money. And even though Mixer is gone now, they made their money. You know? So they did everything right in my eyes.
They got lucky? I don't know. Is that lucky? I don't know. Yeah.
I mean,
Kind of.
Of course. They couldn't know Mixer would go down a year after, right?
Of course.
But
it's that dreaded phrase of golden parachutes, you know? Yeah. That's literally I mean, Shroud and Ninja and people who got paid very sizable sums to move across, I mean, that's their paycheck for the rest of their life. They don't care anymore, in my opinion. They do not care.
Not
unless they buy, I don't know, like 20 Learjets or whatever, or like 150 Learjets or something.
Not that they needed it, you know. They weren't poor before.
Mm.
But still, this is just security at this point.
Yeah, if I come to you, Glitzy, and I say I'll give you 5 million if you sign a contract for 3 years with Facebook Gaming, you wouldn't say no, would you?
Of course not.
It's like three years. All right, let's do it. You know,
yeah,
that's fine. So. And then Facebook Gaming closes after a year, and you get the 5 million anyway. But after a year, okay,
right? Yeah,
you don't have to
and
spend another 2.
And then you're a free agent to do what you want.
So yeah, that was everybody.
For the creator, it's a win-win.
Yes,
for the creator, you are not losing.
The viewers got scammed, in my opinion. Not scammed, but it's literally like, we don't care about you. Go to Facebook. And all the small streamers who were like, yeah, but Shroud and Ninja moved. This is the future, guys. Mixer is the future.
Why didn't we move?
They because people, I see it's hard. I mean, I know it's hard. You know it's hard. Every one of us knows it's hard on Twitch. But if you sit at, let's say, 5 to 10 viewers, yeah? And you see there's somebody big moving to another platform, what are you going to do? Streaming, after a year, you're at 5 to 10 viewers. You're getting desperate, right? So this is your move.
I think that if a lot of people... you know what? You could probably... At the time that Shroud moved across to Twitch, he was playing a lot of Tarkov. And if you were playing Tarkov at the time in the same category on Mixer, you could probably catch a Shroud host every other day to be,
yeah.
Yes.
But the hosts, in my opinion, hosts and raids, they don't really help.
No, not at all. Not at all is wrong, but not really. Yeah,
not really. Like I would say 95% of cases, they like. Sure, it's. Don't get me wrong. Of course, it is. It is extremely. It is very nice for whoever's sending the raid across. Like, it is extremely generous to share that, their community. Regardless, it is an amazing thing. It is just friendly gesture, right? An extremely friendly gesture. But we've spoken about this before, and the people that come across, of course, they're used to that style of stream where they came from. For a start, they're used to the person that they watch. Right? They're not used to your content. They're not your viewers.
Yes.
Right? unless you really vibe with them within the first like almost 30 seconds to a minute.
You're absolutely right. And I think as soon as when you end your stream, and we can talk about this maybe another day, but when you end your stream, you're tired, you're hungry, whatever, you want to end the stream because you're going off the PC. So obviously, and each and every one of us can understand that, that streamer is then popping out of the new streamer's chat. And then the majority of the people automatically leave too. As long as that streamer is typing, they can still interact with them. The only way you're growing through something like that is, and the most popular example in the Tarkov category I have is when Summit went to Dotty. It's like, hey, I like what you're doing, let's play. Because then they kind of connect the dots between that big streamer and a small streamer, and are like, okay, I like him because I've now heard him on Discord or whatever for like 3 hours. I'll pop over, give him a follow, and check him out the next time. And then if he hosts him, then it's a whole different story. If you host someone,
extensive
80%
exposure.
Yeah, and 80% after a host will go automatically because, hey, the stream's ended. Okay, I'll go to my second favorite streamer. And then as far as I can tell, you're left with the lurkers that are not even there or have the tab muted.
Some of them are.
And then you have like a small group of people who are super active and are still there and either are super interested in the game or they just want to show the streamer they came from the support of being there. There's different reasons, but that's a very small group, group.
It does help a little bit, but yeah, you're right. I mean, it's mainly to kind of boost, when you get a host or raid, whatever, it boosts your numbers, right? So it kind of pushes you up to a different spot where you wouldn't be seen otherwise.
Yes, absolutely.
So it gives you the potential for viewers to then see you and go, oh, who's this? Let me go and check them out. Yeah.
Yes, that's exactly what it does. And that's why it's super helpful. It's also super helpful because then they already know, like, those two streamers might be in some way connected,
Yeah, for sure. If it's a bigger streamer, they'll be like, oh, well, they think that they're good enough to kind of recommend. So I think they're good enough because my favorite streamer likes them,
Also, another opinion on just host and raids in general. I heard somebody say that whenever, and I do to some extent believe this, whenever you do raid somebody, they almost become like an extension of your brand. Almost. And I'll expand a little bit on this because essentially taking into account what you've just said, you are then also recommending this person at that time. And your people then understand, or the viewers who, your community then understands that, okay, this is something which I am recommended. This is something which I'm, being recommended by somebody who I trust. So it kind of is almost, at that point, the channel that you're recommending, which is why you have to be, in my opinion, really careful, especially with like streams you don't know. Hosting random streams. I mean, I've caught a fair few random hosts in my time before, and it's weird. It's really strange because nobody has any idea what the hell's going on.
Honestly, I've stopped hosting random people that I've never watched myself before for the simple reason. First of all, you don't know if they actually do want that or are ready for that.
Some people don't like hosts, they're very against it.
Yes. I mean, you can switch them off. If you don't want them, you can switch them off, right? That's possible.
Hosts, I don't think you can. Raids,
not entirely. In fact, for both of them, I'm pretty sure there's a setting where you can turn off hosts and raids, I'm pretty sure. But it's only channels, you can only receive hosts or raids from channels that you follow. Does that make sense? So if you follow the channel, then that gives them the opportunity, or that channel, for them to raid you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's, unless something's changed, but that was the last time I checked. That was the last thing that I saw.
But regardless, the more severe thing why I don't do it anymore is because you don't know what kind of streamer that is. Like,
Of course.
the
Uh-huh.
only thing you could identify them from is the thumbnail you see, right, in the category.
Mhm.
And you don't know if it's like a guy who, like, if your channel is, let's say, PG-13, and you are hosting someone who's constantly swearing, constantly being toxic, constantly screaming,
For sure.
yeah,
I
it just doesn't
hosted
work.
I
It's
hosted somebody.
dangerous.
I hosted somebody once, and then within the first like 5 minutes of the host, he started talking about killing children, or
Ooh.
I instantly unhosted.
Wow. Damn.
Uh,
Yeah, it's dangerous.
and I mean, this person, I've heard of him before. I've just never been to his streams before. I was like, you know what? Let's give it a go. Why not? Right? Benefit of the doubt.
Mm.
Yeah,
It's really hard. I often go on Twitch and check out new channels, but I feel like by now I know a lot of Tarkov streamers that I can host whenever I'm going offline. That I know that are streaming, that start a stream around my time anyway, and they stream way longer than me. Because I stream like 3 to 4 hours in the evening, right? So I feel more comfortable with just sticking to what I know. Farmer sticks to his potatoes, right? But
I've never heard that.
it's good.
You know what? Dashing comes out with some phrases every now and again that I've never heard, but they make sense. They're good though.
Yeah. Now you threw me off. Yeah. So no. Anyways, I just like to be safe, because if I host somebody who's completely toxic or an asshole, then the people that watch you think like, who the fuck is he hosting, and why does he think that guy is for me?
Do you want me to tell you my story of when I first hosted Dashing?
Oh God. No, don't. Okay. No, we had this already. We don't want to hear it again.
I don't know it, Dashing.
We've never done it on a podcast.
Okay,
so the first,
tell it.
I knew Dashing through Ghost, right? We all know who Ghost Freak is, of course. And I wasn't familiar with Dashing. Oh no, put it away! God damn it, he has 2 as well.
Yeah, that's the other ones up there somewhere.
Mr. and Mrs. What?
Their chat named them Cumsock.
There you go. So. Yeah,
I know.
So imagine hosting somebody, and then all of a sudden, you get a thank you from 2 fucking socks. The first impression wasn't very good. I'll be honest, but we moved past that. He put the socks away. After a while, I think he realized that probably wasn't, something which is, which you probably want part of your brand. I don't know.
So what did you do with these socks?
It was a time. Puppets. The hand puppets, yeah. You can. That the problem is, like, you can.
We don't need a demonstration.
Yeah.
I see.
Move their mouth.
Oh, okay.
They have
they're
this
proper
squeaky...
puppets. That's fine. They're not just socks.
No, they're not. They're actually not socks at all. My chat just named them Cumsock because, yeah. Anyway, it was at a time where I was experimenting with different things. Like, you watch a lot of other content creators. Like, I follow this one guy who is an awesome variety streamer. And I don't know if you guys know the game Cuisine Royale.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he was playing that with pantry on his head. Like, he had a pot and some stuff around it, like in the game. Or when he plays, he played a mobile game. It's also Battle Royale. It's a top-down. And he had different hats for the armor types he would pick up. He was funny as fuck, and he would always go like this with his arms, And I just loved it. But it was completely different from what I was used to watch before. And then I watched Kings, and I watched all the other streamers, and they were all doing different things. And when you start out streaming, you often get advice like, watch other streamers and see what they're doing, and why they're successful. So that was a time where I was just trying out different things and just trying to find how I would want to define myself. And that's how it came to be. You know, at the end, I ended with being the guy who knows everything about all the mechanics in Tarkov. But I didn't know that at that time.
Oh, specifically to do with skills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's how it came to be. Let's never talk about this again, okay?
See? He's changed. He has evolved. There is hope yet. But no, it's you know what? Whilst we've been talking, I've actually just been kind of keeping an eye on the top Tarkov stream for D Live. Right, the guys on Interchange. It looks crisp. It actually looks like it's more than it's like either 8 or possibly more than 8K bitrate upload. So it looks like these new platforms. That's what they will do. They will most likely try and entice people and try and like lure people in with more functionality and things like that. But as soon as the floodgates open, people will join. The quality will go down. You cannot maintain that kind of quality with the numbers that Mixer started pulling. You can't. And I think that that's probably the other side of the coin where they just they couldn't harness the success that they got through the resources that they used in order to acquire the streamers that they acquired. They just were not ready, I think, to harness that success at all.
The bandwidth cost for Twitch is so immensely huge. If they would go and allow 10K to everybody, it would more than double.
It wouldn't work.
And it's just you can't pull in at some point. You can't pull in that much money from ads, or you have to make them so much more expensive in order to actually pay for just the infrastructure. Yep. And yes, absolutely. I can see that the small platforms are doing this and are doing the right thing there. But what I find funny is all those streamers that move there and say like it's so much better because of this, not actually even knowing that once this would blow up, this would go away.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I like Twitch. I mean, I was a viewer on Twitch for almost, I can't even remember what was the name before Twitch. Can't remember.
Justin TV.
Justin TV, yeah.
Yeah. So I grew with Twitch. And then started streaming myself eventually. So it feels home. And I tried YouTube. Horrible. I mean, not the quality or anything. It's just the chat's so weird. And the first thing my regulars ask, like, where's the emotes? You know? It's just so different. The interface is you think Twitch is weird? Check out YouTube. It's completely the opposite of user friendly.
For live streaming,
yeah. Because the difference there is YouTube is a platform where you upload videos and provide that as a content, and Twitch is a live streaming platform, and that's the difference. I think YouTube will never get to that point where Twitch is, and it's good that way. We need that separation, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think so.
In all honesty, I'm starting to now see the possibility that the emergence of a lot of these streaming platforms could possibly just be a cash grab.
Yes.
The potential for a pretty large cash grab is insane, to be honest.
Yeah.
Right?
The small ones that don't buy Shrouded Ninja.
Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
The potential for those smaller platforms is crazy.
There is. I think, I don't know if it's D-Live or anything else that do a lot with cryptocurrency. So when you watch a streamer, you get rewarded with cryptocurrency through Incent or whatever that is.
Yeah, it's D-Live. Yeah, they do some sort of blockchain thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, it's like when somebody tells you just farm Bitcoins, you know, the amount of power cost, energy cost you pay per month is so much higher than what you actually farm in Bitcoins. and I feel like it's the same, right? Yeah, you get incent, you get awarded with like cryptocurrency, and while you're watching, we're actually using the power of your PC to. It's like I don't know how to feel about that. Maybe that's absolutely not true and wrong, and I just don't know, which I do. But
there's a lot we don't know.
Yeah,
and then we can't know. We can't know the motivation behind whatever they do and why they're there. We can't. We don't really.
In my
unless
opinion,
they...
it's money. The motivation, the Twitch's motivation is money.
Sure.
It's not to make the world a nice streaming place. It's they're a company. They want to earn cash.
It's a business.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So I don't know, but there's so many. I'll just watch Trovo because I'm really interested in how that is going, because it looks like Twitch and.
Exactly. Yeah. So what do you think, Glitzy? Are you gonna maybe do some extra streams on Trovo?
Watch this space.
You know what? I've actually been genuinely thinking about it too. Like time outside of Tarkov, sure, I'll do my regular Tarkov streams, whatever. Right? That's not going anywhere. But then if I want to play something else and I don't want to mix that content in with my regular content that's on Twitch, I'll move to Trovo. Why not? Play another game.
It's messy. I don't know.
Messy,
actually,
sure, but
it's actually. So I mean, all three of us don't. Streaming is not our like main job, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But if streaming is your main job, your main source of income, it would make sense to me to diversify. I think with Twitch you have a problem though. The contract you're signing is you can't do that on any other platform.
Yeah, you're tied to Twitch. Yes. You can't go anywhere.
There's a caveat. I'll chime in, and there is a caveat. Even partners, it doesn't really matter. You can't stream at the same time to two different platforms.
Exactly.
Really?
Yeah.
You can't. As soon as you turn off your stream, you can change the stream key,
and you're not allowed to use the content you created on Twitch on another platform for so many hours.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So. Yeah, but I mean, I don't think Twitch actually checks if somebody uploads his VOD after the stream to YouTube. Not really.
I doubt it.
So
unless again,
it would make sense.
Maybe that's why Disrespect got banned. Maybe he uploaded every single one of his VODs to YouTube, and you never know. But
maybe. But yeah, it would make sense to actually do that. If that, I would be scared, because even as a partner. If Twitch doesn't like you anymore, you just flip the switch and your channel is banned and your source of income is gone. That would scare me.
Yeah.
So I would like to have a plan B. Obviously. I mean, yes, a lot of people say, yeah, you got to do YouTube, but YouTube doesn't pay you as much. And I feel like if content creation as a live streamer is your main source of income, why not check out other options in parallel to Twitch? And actually also slowly, and even if it's just for the memes, build it up. It doesn't hurt you.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
I see you guys on Trovo.
I think with any live streaming platform, it doesn't really matter. It's always a lot easier if you have a following elsewhere first.
Yes.
And it doesn't really matter what following that is or where that following is.
Take
either.
Robin, Instagram.
As long as it's a live following, you will do well on Twitch. It is pretty. It's actually as clear cut as that. It literally is. Yeah, Robin is a very good example, right? With Instagram. Pretty sure he had a fairly big following before on Instagram before he started streaming on Twitch. I've known Robin for a while now. Before he had 10 viewers, I've known about his channel, and I've been watching him ever since then. I've helped the guy out a lot with all sorts of technical stuff and whatever else, and just connections in general. But I love Robin. He's a good guy. Why not? Why not help somebody who can be a force for good on the platform, regardless? personally, I mean, I've always said this, and I always will say this. To me, money is not why I'm on Twitch. I mean, we've had this discussion before in previous podcasts. I don't think I'll go into like too much detail here, but money isn't the reason why I'm here. So that doesn't really matter. But the potential for conversation for me, and just to have a general like community of people who I can talk to, that's the real goal for me. That is the real goal for me, and it's just to have somebody who I can speak to on a daily basis, so that I primarily don't lose my English, which is why I cast in English and not in Russian, because I speak Russian every single day pretty much for my job anyway. I speak and learn Finnish as well, not as much, but I didn't want to lose my English, because there is no English for me IRL. There isn't. There just isn't. So I didn't want to lose that.
So you can't relate to that famous clip. Nobody has zapped to me within an hour. What the fuck is wrong with you? Do you think this is for free?
Yeah. So I stream because for one, I play games. Two, I like the interaction with chat. That's pretty much, and I've achieved that, and I'm happy with that, and I'm fine. I'm fine with that. But you know what? We did have another podcast. We did have the topic of content creation, and we did quite a lot speak about just general kind of like mental health and stuff, and just So I briefly touched on it just before we got onto the podcast. But Glitzy, you were in the first round of drops, from what I understand, right?
Yeah.
And that, drops are obviously, it's an amazing event. It is very good for anybody who's actually part of it.
I'll talk to you later, guys.
Anybody who's not part of it, just about every single person that I've seen, that I've like followed, and they've all gone through something very, very similar. And I'll tell you my experience, for instance, with the first round of drops, because I wasn't included, and that's, again, that's absolutely fine. But at the time, when all of a sudden you go from like 60, 70 people concurrent to like 10 to 15 within the space of about a week.
Yep.
That hurts. That really hurts. That really, really hurts, because your chat is empty. And that, for me, is exactly why I was doing Twitch in the first place. And I actually spoke to one of my closest mods at the time, and I said, you know what? If this carries on, I'm super grateful that you are here specifically listening to me right now, because otherwise, like, who would I even be talking to, right? Who can I have, like, where can I get a second brain to listen to me, to then put whatever, thoughts, right or wrong, like, it doesn't matter, but to put them into place. I will then brew in my own little pot until it becomes worse. And that happens, I think, to anybody. Yes. I think that happens to anybody.
Yeah.
And
I said
to my mod that, but by TwitchCon, if it wasn't going to get any better, I was probably going to quit streaming.
What makes it worse is people popping into your chat saying, "Why don't you have drops?"
Yeah.
I can't understand why you don't have drops. And then you sit there like everything was fine, and you were already like in your head over it. Just doesn't matter. You don't have drops. I just start streaming. Hey, why do you not have drops?
There was another streamer, about the same size as you and I, Dash. But he didn't get included at either the first round or the second round.
Yeah. And
he tweeted something which resonated with me quite a lot. Not necessarily personally, but I can definitely empathize with what he said. And it was something along the lines of, I've been through the military and I wasn't accepted there as a young adult, and now as an actual, as a grown up, I do not want to be part of something where I'm just not accepted. It's as simple as that. And I think that's quite sad, and it is very, very detrimental, and I think it's very heavy. It's the whole mental
I mean,
kind of health
if you
issue.
guys want, we can drop into the mental health on Twitch topic.
I think so.
By me opening that with saying, because the Twitch drops is actually, from a streamer's perspective, a perfect example. It messes with you so much for being not accepted twice in a row. And you think like, okay, either my content is garbage, they hate me for whatever reason, or I'm doing something severely wrong. Because there's no positive side to it. There just isn't. And it makes you feel like, I wouldn't say you're not depressed, but it gets you down onto to the ground where you think like you said, Sneak, you're like, does it make sense to continue? Because this game is now exploding. Everybody's getting more and more viewers. Everybody's getting included, but you yourself, you don't necessarily see the others. You then band with others together. Like, you're not included too? Yeah, it's garbage, right? But it messes with you so much that you actually think about quitting. Because if you're a main game Tarkov streamer and you're not included there, it breaks you. It does.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it's a shame. I don't even think there was any real kind of structure as to who they chose and why. I don't even know.
I'll tell you a little bit about the background of how, from what I know, again, I could be wrong, this is speculation, but from what I've heard, for both of those events, they actually had to pay per slot to Twitch. So BSG came forward with a proposition, from what I understand, of Twitch drops for Tarkov. The first time was an experiment, which is, and if you look back at it, even with the items that dropped, the people who were involved, the way that it was structured, just about everything gave us the hallmarks of this is an experiment and we'll see where this goes. Second time around, they did structured drops. And I think that was another, yet again, a proposition from BSG directly to Twitch. And they said, hey, why don't we bring even more structure to the format of drops? Why don't we do drops which roll across the category for specific channels? And sure, if there's money involved, sure, if you want us to pay per slot or whatever, that's fine. But we want to do this way, and not only, but because of the whole discussion, like, hey, Devin Nash was basically saying that the top streams for that week, they were almost, it seemed like they were being view botted. And to a certain extent, maybe, but again, Devin Nash is a very big personality in the streaming world, in the content creation world, across the board. It doesn't really matter where it's Twitch, anywhere, just about anywhere. The man is an absolute monster. And he was saying that, hey, there's something afoot here. So I think because of that, they then came out with this kind of more structured way of drops. And hey, why don't we roll it across the category to show you that this is not just a one-off? Not only, but I think there's a mutual benefit, there's mutual monetary benefit for both sides here. And of course, everybody who's participating as well, they get the opportunity too. But of course, it's very heavy. I think I think the right word here would be toxic. In my opinion, drops are actually very toxic. Even though, hey, I was included, but I still think that they're extremely toxic. Just the nature.
They're a way to make two categories of streamers. Like, there are already categories like the big, the small, the medium, partners, the affiliates, but they make it into, they split the streaming category for Tarkov into two. The ones that are in the inner circle and the ones that are not. That's what happens, and that's why I
Would
think
you
they are toxic. Yes.
what do you think, Glitzy? I mean, obviously, just say whatever you want. You can disagree with us. Say whatever you want.
I mean, it's a good way to boost the game, to get the more kind of players and viewers and all that jazz. I do agree that it's very demotivating and um, yeah, not fair to a certain extent. To not have
You probably have streamer friends, smaller streamer friends who were not included, and you
yeah,
probably got some conversations as well about it too. I'm sure.
yeah, for sure. Like it's sad to see. I don't know. It's a tough one for sure.
Yeah.
I feel like drops. I mean, when they do drops on other games, is that inclusive of everyone? I don't even know.
Okay,
Yes.
so the original format for drops is just that they're category wide, and I'm pretty sure again this is in tandem with either the publisher or the studio that holds the rights to the game. So
Yeah.
Twitch will
Mm.
then contact, they'll talk about it, and they'll be like, okay, we want to do drops.
Valorant, the beta
Yeah,
keys,
yeah.
everybody had
So
them.
that's that was category wide.
Hunt Showdown was just they did it the exact same way Tarkov did it, and I think that
Yeah.
was a copy and paste.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then again, Hunt Showdown has been on the tail of Tarkov for God knows how long. I mean, it's almost a carbon copy of the game, just reskinned and kind of like revamped into something different. In my opinion, that's kind of what it is.
Yeah,
It is.
yeah. I did a comparison between the two. You're not wrong. Yeah, but yeah. So we're going into Twitch drops all this time.
Instead of mental health.
Yes. Kind
But
of.
let's actually focus in then. In that case, so it is unfortunate. In the past week and a half to 2 weeks at this point, there has been some very unfortunate events with streamers who are unfortunately no longer with us. It is very sad. It is very sad to see, and of course, regardless of who you are, whether you're a streamer, you are a viewer, it doesn't really matter who you are as long as you are hearing this. Just remember that you are never alone, and people do care. That is absolutely genuine. The communities that you are part of definitely do be in touch with them, whether it is your IRL physical communities or these are communities of people who are on the internet. It doesn't really matter. Stick to the people that you relate to, and stick to the people who you like, who you enjoy. But it is a very big topic, I think, and especially for Twitch because it is the biggest streaming platform. And of course, things like this will happen wherever there is numbers en masse. And I'm not talking about viewers, I'm talking about general viewers and streamers, of course. Whenever you get massive anything, you're obviously going to get acute situations within those masses. So I don't think this will quite transpire the same to smaller platforms again, like Trovo or something else, just simply because of again the numbers, right?
So
Go on.
why do you think it's not just people at game?
It is not.
But it appears because we're in this category and we're playing computer games that are supposed to make us happy, to keep us entertained and whatnot, and we're all happy with what we're doing, and I don't know. So why do you think Twitch struggled so hard with addressing mental health properly, mental health issues properly,
On their
towards
platform.
both streamers and viewers? Because to me, every time I see somebody say something, I struggle with depression and blah blah blah. You go on Twitter, just on Twitter, as an example, you go down in that tweet on the timeline, and there is almost guaranteed someone posting the national suicide prevention hotlines. That's not it. You just can't copy and paste something off the internet and say, just call one of these numbers wherever you are. and I think, or the question is, does Twitch have some form of responsibility, or don't they? Because I think they can't have a responsibility, but they have a responsibility in addressing it, because it's happening. And we can name Rekful, yeah? He was streaming on Twitch. In his streams, he had this severely depressed content. Whenever I get too depressed, I just end my stream. So they have it on their platform. People that are addressing their depression with their chat. So the question here is, and I don't think we can actually find an answer, it's just a general question, does Twitch not need to do something to address this better, especially towards the viewers that consume that?
I'm not sure if they have the staff to do it. I honestly don't know. I know that people are appointed, certain people, but it's not a one-on-one.
Yeah.
So
it's one person to a lot of people. So yes, they can have conversations, and they make you aware that they're always there, no matter what, day, night. But I suppose it's then up to you to approach them. How much time you can be given, I don't know.
So from what I understand, Twitch actually has a security council. So it is a select group of people who look after the well-being of especially larger content creators. I'm pretty sure that if anything was to happen to another partnered streamer, regardless of how big they are, I'm pretty sure that you would then be forwarded to a security council member. I'm almost positive. But this is not something that from what I understand, this is not something that that everybody knows. And the only reason why I know this, and we spoke about this slightly before we started the cast today, and that's Trainwrecks TV. We got over the definition of the emote Papega. If you do not know what the emote Papega, to those of you that are listening in, definitely go into Urban Dictionary or something.
Google it.
It's easy. Google it, whatever. Right? I'm not going to go into explaining what an emote is, but I love Train. I love Train for the simple fact that he is very clever in what he does. But he also has this kind of happy-go-lucky, kind of, half like stupid, but still knows what he's talking about type. He's very clever in what he does, is basically what I'm trying to say. He has spoken several times about the Security Council and people that are on it as well. Of course, he holds the Scuff podcast, where lots of people across the platform come in. And in fact, he said it a number of times, because from what I understand, he actually knows these people who are in the Security Council, and they actually watch those podcasts themselves. Those people, the people on the Security Council, they watch the Scout podcast to see where this is going, because a lot of the time topics will get pushed, or the things that they talk about on that podcast, they a lot of the time push the so-called meta of Twitch.
Okay.
Right, in terms of where things are going. So I mean, hey, if you've never seen one of those podcasts, it's interesting. It is very interesting. They can be anywhere from like 2 hours to like 5 hours sometimes, right? And they'll talk about all sorts of crazy stuff, But it is something which I think is very interesting, just because, again, it pushes that meta of Twitch. But what Train also does is advice streams, where he gets people from his chat to come in and talk about whatever problems they're having. Of course, these people are usually vetted by the mod team that Train has, and there's other people who are co-hosting the podcast at the time, of course, to get different opinions and things, which I think is very, very interesting. And I think that is something which Twitch in my opinion, should most likely be doing themselves. And it is, in my opinion, amazing that a content creator who, again, is that kind of like half clown, half, has taken upon himself to then. Does that make sense? That seems like an absolutely crazy endeavor to undertake, but you have to have. I I don't even know what the phrase is. You have to have the balls to do that, right? Like you really do. That's your livelihood. That's your channel. We're talking about. Like the train usually gets an average from, I don't know, like from 3,000 to 7,000, depending on what he streams. And then when he has these Scov podcasts, he goes all the way up to 20,000. Whenever he does these advice streams, he's usually on like 10,000 to possibly 15,000, but that's not as popular. But again, his Scov podcast, I mean, Sequisha's been on there. Devin Nash is on there every single time. He's just a permanent guest now there. And I think that kind of shows the magnitude of what Train does. And again, this is just amazing promotion for him. But I think that Twitch should be doing it themselves, in my opinion. They should be holding similar podcasts where they discuss, not just throwing up, oh, call this number. I think there should be more proactive.
What I think is, I talked to two about it before. Healthy Gamer GG, yeah, Dr. K, who is also on Twitch. Twitch should work with him to create a podcast like that, where they also grab random people that he talks to. He talks to a lot of, like, he talked to Asmongold and to Devin Nash and to Rekful, actually, and a lot of people. And it is something Twitch should host. It shouldn't be upon the shoulders of a single content creator or a couple of content creators. It should be Twitch who is.
They should highlight it more for sure. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And again, Glitzy, you were saying just before we started, how do you tell apart, between whether it's a troll or not? In a smaller chat.
You never know.
How?
You have to take every instance seriously. Whether they're, a brand new person to your channel, that instant, or, they've been there for X amount of time. You can't really brush aside anything. Just, we're talking about people's lives here. So you have to take it all seriously.
Absolutely. No, and I think there's definitely mechanisms of how you actually do this. It's not just, again, what I said at the time when we were discussing this is that take it outside of chat. But don't bring it into my chat. We're here to have fun. We're not here to, we're here to get away from everyday stuff.
Yeah.
We're not here to discuss everyday stuff. We don't, take it to DMs.
You said my DMs are always open, right, Sneaky? I feel it's very important to say it out loud. A streamer is not necessarily, unless it's his real job, a psychiatrist.
Yeah.
So definitely we can lend you a shoulder sometimes, for sure,
or
an ear, and we can give some life experiences from, depending on from whom you ask. But that's about it. Yeah. We can't necessarily solve issues. If people just need someone to talk to, definitely not in chat. That's a happy place. It's supposed to be a happy place, at least.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, like you say, Dashing, there's only so much that you can take on yourself, and there's only so much that you can help. But for me, I always say I am always there. Even if someone just needs, someone could just need that 10-minute conversation or an hour, whatever it is, just to give them that reassurance that you are not alone and you are worth it. Just keep going. Things will improve. Just a bit of positive, influence, just to make them think, you know what, you're right. It's going to be better tomorrow.
Yeah. I've had several situations like this in my chat, and to be honest, a few of those situations, of course, I'm not going to name anybody, but a few of those situations were something along the lines of, "Oh, my father has broken his leg. He cannot move, and I don't have a mother. I have to look after him. I am 17. There's nothing I can do. There's literally nothing I can do. I have to look after him." Okay, the person that I was actually speaking to, he wasn't 17. He was, I think he's like 21, 22. But he's still very, very young, and he doesn't really know what he's doing. And it's very hard for him. Very, very hard for him. And of course, I think looking slightly past that situation, I think the key phrase here is stay strong, be strong yourself, because the stronger you are, you will then be that kind of like the base, the floor, the concrete for that situation. You have to be strong for not yourself, but for other people as well. And it is, I think that's always pretty much what it comes down to. But a lot of the time, these people will want to, if they're already talking in your chat about this, there is most likely more that they want to say, and that's when you say, "DMs are always open. Please take it out of my chat." Like,
See,
just
I had a beautiful positive example. Someone in my chat who says about themselves, like, "I'm socially awkward. I don't, I can't talk to people in real life, not even on Discord." And then, he found the courage to say, "Can I join your raid?" And say, "Yeah, sure, just hop on Discord." I didn't know, right? And then we were talking and we were having raids, and that person is then like, "I would have never done that, but with you I feel secure because you're not looking down on me saying you're weird."
Yeah.
But that is definitely something nice and positive. However, you don't even need to know, if somebody has an issue like that, just ask the streamer if he wants to play. If he says no, there's reasons. It's not never anything personal against anybody. But if he says yes, just jump in. You don't even need to tell him, and he's going to treat you like he's going to treat every normal human being, and hopefully that's a nice way.
Yeah,
that's how I want to be treated. But that was a very positive and nice thing towards all this horrible thing. Do you guys think that there's a new term? I'm old, okay? Cancel culture. You guys think that this and cancel culture is like, I make someone irrelevant, right? I literally make him irrelevant on social media and end his social media life, right? You guys think that this also plays a big role in the mental health issue we have around Twitch at the moment with streamers and viewers? Because there are people that actually thrive on this. I've seen this in so many instances. They enjoy, for no other reason but they're bored or whatever, to shit down on other people.
Yeah, just to tear people down. I can't understand the culture, to be honest. It just blows my mind that these people manage to even sleep at night. And they do it purely just for numbers, and popularity, and I don't know, blows my mind.
Yeah, it's crazy. It is crazy, but I think in the long term, okay, sure. Let me rephrase it. I think at the time it may seem like that's a bad thing, but I think in the long term, for the person, whoever is doing it, it always rolls around. Whatever goes around comes around is basically what I'm saying. I think that people will see, situations for what they are in time. So given a circumstance, I think that most people will start to see through certain actions. It's the same with the gaming industry, for instance. How many times can you come out with a beta game and say, "Hey, we're gonna do it. We're gonna complete it. Give us time." It's the same. It's very similar in my opinion.
It's still an
right?
alpha.
Yeah, or it's still a beta or whatever. Like, I'm not shitting on Tarkov here, right? Tarkov's a different example. I absolutely love Tarkov, right? It was the same with DayZ, for instance. And I knew when I was playing DayZ, especially the mod, right, that it wasn't going to be a game anytime soon. And in fact, what I'm playing right now is the game.
No,
Right?
exactly. You got
whatever
your
gets pushed.
money's worth already, right? Because
Yeah,
you paid
yeah.
for it and you had fun. Let's say DayZ standalone, 1,000 hours. I paid like what, $13 back in the day. Yeah, it's okay. They never finished it. I don't mind. I played 1,000 hours and had fun with it. You know, thank you.
Exactly. I definitely got my money.
But what do you guys think? It just popped into my head. Like, at least it's with me when I watch a series or a movie. Yeah, you start growing with the main character or a side character, and then bad things happen to them or they feel down, and you start feeling that you have empathy for that screen actor's character. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So do you guys think that when somebody watches a streamer regularly and that streamer has a very bad and sad phase, that don't those viewers then not go through the same process as with a series or a movie? Like, they start feeling sad themselves because of the empathy there. And so isn't it, and that's what I said, right? Every time I feel depressed or sad, I end my stream, because if it's not something where I can spread joy, then I feel I'm affecting people in a very negative way.
I have a question, right? Do either of you, when you get off stream, right, you finish your stream, you hit the stop streaming button, do you ever just recline in your chair and almost start to fall asleep?
No.
No? Because that happens to me a lot, actually, because I try and give as much energy and as much like positive energy to my stream as possible. And it takes a lot out of me. Like, it really takes a lot out of me.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I do agree.
Yeah. Like, almost to the point where I actually start like almost dozing off, almost like within the first like 10 to 15 minutes. It's crazy.
During lockdown, like, I was furloughed from work. So I was trying to stream. I streamed more than I would if I was working, obviously. And I was more exhausted through doing that than I was through working full time and pretty much streaming full time. It was, wow, yeah, it takes a lot out of you, for sure.
It definitely does.
I thought it would have been, the question would have been, are you glad it's over? So
no,
I sometimes sit there like, I'm done, I'm exhausted and I'm really glad it's over. I don't fall asleep. I'm not like physically, but mentally I'm super tired.
Just drained. Yeah. It is a mental drain. It is not a physical drain. It's definitely a mental drain. It's the energy output or the input, whatever you want to call it, that you put into your stream that really, I think, drives that. And it's not like, oh, we're always trying to be happy and positive and whatever, just because that's not the case. That's how we are.
I had this instance. I was playing Valorant, and I usually don't play with just randoms because I want to get to know them. But I had a long-term viewer coming in, and then he said, I have a friend, and he said, is he stream friendly? And he was being constantly toxic, and I couldn't just, it was competitive, so I wouldn't want to just leave the game, so I had to endure that entire game, which if it goes utterly wrong, it's 25 rounds, 3 to 4 minutes, right? After that, I had to end my stream because I was completely done.
Yeah.
I was done. It drains you so hard yourself.
Yeah, I think, of course. And it also changes the mood of everything as well. So then you're like, oh, okay, I can't keep doing this. You need to stop. Yeah.
That was
so there's always boundaries. What we're getting to is that there's always boundaries. And I think that we can also go into the mechanisms of how we cope with that. And also, I think this will also transpire in in some sense to just general mental health for viewers as well, because I think coping mechanisms are key. And understanding those coping mechanisms is also very key. Whatever they are for you, that could be something different. You don't have to go into specifics or give examples. But for me, for instance, again, like I watch a lot of Twitch. And if there is a term which one of my mods, I would like to say that she coined it, but Tarkov blues. Whenever there's not a lot going on with Tarkov, everybody seems to hop off to other games, do whatever. It's been like, for instance, Last Wipe. Okay, 8 months for Last Wipe. The last 2 to 3 months of Last Wipe was the Tarkov blues. There was practically nobody in the, like, sure, there was the regulars every now and again, but they would do 2 to 3 hours of Tarkov and they'd hop to something else. And that's because there's not a lot to do. And mentally, you can't just sit there and power through like 5 to 6 hours, whatever your regular stream time is, and just keep going. I highly admire, for instance, Anton. He streams Tarkov like an absolute maniac. How he still streams Tarkov, I do not know, on a regular basis, just like he does. Sure, he's hopped across to, say, Star Citizen, some rally games, and whatever else. But that's different. That's slightly different. At the time when quote unquote Tarkov blues were upon us, in my opinion, he was still streaming Tarkov and he was still having fun with it. How? Beats me. There is some serious, in my opinion, there's some serious coping mechanisms there that we just do not know. For me, for instance, a coping mechanism would be to go and watch Anton's stream during Tarkov Blues because he has fun with it. How does he have fun with it? What does he do?
I actually did that. I like the past weeks before the announcement that they wouldn't reset the skills, right?
Mm-hmm.
And 12.7 is almost upon us. It's funny because Glitzy started very early, right? During the lockdown.
Mm-hmm.
So I went into Glitzy's stream because I knew she was all happy and happy with the game for whatever weird reason.
It's true.
So I was watching that for an hour or two, and I was like, "Yeah, you know what? I can actually stream Tarkov today as well."
Yeah.
That's really nice to hear.
It was crazy though because I was sitting there like, "Why is she happy? Because it's boring."
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, we're doing this task now, so let's see how this goes. Like, oh my god,
That's true.
I can't be asked.
I struggle the most while streaming Tarkov when I am constantly dying, because I don't know. I feel like I want to do good for myself and for the people that I represent. You know, like I feel like I'm letting my community down if I am trash at the game that I play. So if I'm constantly death after death after death, that hurts my soul. It's such a mental game at that point. It's unreal.
Yeah.
I've actually had it the past few days. So
Sneaky said something cool. Oh yes, keep going.
Yeah, what I ended up doing was just I've never done this before, but I was like, do you know what? I got down to about 30,000 rubles, probably less than that. I said I'm going to do a pistol run. I honestly don't care at this point because I was just losing my mind. So it's just picking up a pistol, running into shoreline, and I was just running into resort and just seeing what loot I could get. And I had so much fun. It was amazing. And it turned it around for me.
Yeah, that's exactly what I teach, right? How to farm shoreline in under 10 minutes with just a pistol and make
awesome.
millions.
If you get a good spawn. Oof.
Yeah. But Sneaky...
do you know? Sorry, can I just say this?
Yeah.
I ran in, I found a Ledex, I got that sweet Ledex, I got that Lion, and I was out. And do you know what I did? I extracted from Rock Passage, and I got a run through. Fantastic. But I was so happy.
No, I know, and that's a lot of people who want to play with me at the moment because of those shoreline runs. they want to experience on how my route works, then
Right.
I tell them, like, if you're spending more than 30 seconds in a room, you're doing it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And that's fun to them. To me, that's just what I do, right? That's what I teach. But Sneaky said something very interesting about that, because he said he was watching Cotton, and Cotton had this insanely rate streak of dying over and over and over, and then you can continue that, Sneaky.
Well, I can't remember where it really went, but like, sure, Cotton, he's very, in my opinion, he's very good at manipulating what he does anyway, right? He is a fortress in himself. The man is a legend and a fortress in himself. It doesn't really matter. But he constantly dies, and he doesn't. He cares. He definitely cares, and I feel like he shares what Glitzy was saying just now in terms of, I feel like I'm letting people down. Like, I feel like I'm letting my community down because I shouldn't. Like, I want to do the best I can, but I can't. The game is just such. Whatever it is, it could be RNG for all we know.
But then he
Like,
survived, right? Then
he survived. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, he started surviving, and he was like, that's how Tarkov is,
Yeah.
At some
It
point,
is.
I know I'll have my come up again.
Around.
Yeah.
100%. This is what I keep saying to people, right? Like, yes, I might have a bad week, and that week is rough as hell, but I know that it's going to turn around. I can't explain it. I don't know why it happens.
Exactly.
But it does.
Yeah.
And yeah.
The parallels here, in fact, between mental health and how we play our favorite game are actually closer than we think.
Oh, it's so frustrating.
It really is. I think
so hard.
I think life is frustrating as a whole. You just gotta get on and do stuff every now and again. Of course, you would want to enjoy whatever you're doing, and if it keeps if it keeps being bad to you, then hey, well, guess what? When life gives you lemons, you make lemonade, right? You go and do the other thing to try and be something different. To try and do something slightly different within whatever you're doing, right? And I think that a lot of the time through that is an exercise in itself, in fact, right? That is an exercise in finding a coping mechanism for whatever it is. And it doesn't matter whether it's life, whether it's in Tarkov, it doesn't really matter. Again, daily, I'm sure. I mean, for me at least, I get people in my chat almost daily saying, hey, I come here because I think you're good at the game. I would like to learn some stuff. And every single time I say, hey, ask questions. And I'll tell you why, because the only stupid question
is one you don't ask.
Is the one you don't ask.
Yeah, I agree.
But I kind of disagree, or maybe I'm wrong, because Glitzy, you said you don't want to stream a game where you're garbage at. But if you stream something that you absolutely enjoy, then I think you start pulling in viewers that don't come for you being good at the game, but for you bringing joy to the stream.
Honestly, I feel like that I am kind of at that point where, obviously I'm an average player on Tarkov. Some weeks I'm way below, other weeks I'm a bit above. We're all the same, right? We have good times, bad times.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I wanted to kind of grow it to the point where it's good to get it to a point where people are there for you and not because of your gameplay.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Because we're all not Shroud, we're all not Robin, we're all not Ghost Freak,
sure.
right?
I was on one of the team's podcasts at one point, and Slushy actually asked me something which I found very interesting. And at the time when I first started playing Tarkov back in end of 2017, and I kind of streamed back then, but I was streaming other things, and I started watching streams on Twitch for Tarkov. And I was, I was just genuinely interested. But again, I wanted to learn. And I didn't feel at the time that I could stream Tarkov because I was very bad at it.
Mm.
And Slushy said, why didn't you stream that? That is a learning experience in itself.
The learning curve, yeah.
And I said, you know what? Now that you say it like that, it's probably my bad. Like, that's probably my mistake. I should have most likely streamed that. But I felt like I wasn't contributing.
Mm.
I felt like I wasn't really, I wasn't pushing anything. I wasn't like pushing any metas. I wasn't, I was just exploring and doing whatever. That was just my experience. But that experience, I now understand that experience is actually key, not just to me, but to other people as well.
The majority of Tarkov streamers are not super good, in my opinion. They're average players like every other player is. They have good raids, like we said, and they have bad raids, right? Then there are a few streamers that are streaming it because their gameplay is so on point that everybody wants to see that. Then there are people that stream it that do something special. Like I like Pestily as an example. His speed leveling, and he provides a ton of content around Tarkov in general. But he doesn't know everything about the game. And then you have Sequisha, who is a variety streamer, but when he streams it, he's not bad at the game. But people watch him because for other reasons, in my opinion. You have all kinds of streamers, and the majority of the streamers aren't dead aim people. They're just random guys that play the game and either have something, if they're mainstreaming it, they have something about the game that only they can provide or mainly provide, or they're just showing how hard it is to struggle in a hardcore survival. That's the reality. This game isn't as easy as people make it look like. It's not. Every start of the wipe, I have a day or two in between leveling up to 40 where I think like, Jesus Christ, this wipe, it took me 5 days to get to 40, and I was like, no, I'm not making it. I'm too bad. But then you make it and you think like, yeah, okay, it was easy, next.
Yeah, it's nice that I think it's nice to show, like you say, two sides of it. People go, to, like you say, people like Shroud and Ghost Freak, whoever else, to kind of go, oh, wow, you make this game look so simple, and you just go in and wipe the whole map, in, out.
Kind of crazy.
Simples, yeah. And every raid, you just don't die, or you might die 1 in 10 raids. And they just sit there in awe. And then they play, and then it's completely the opposite experience when they play. It's like a constant death every 30 seconds. So then they go to other streamers, at the other end of the spectrum, that kind of have the same experience as them, and then it makes them feel okay about their gameplay and their self.
Yeah, I mean, you die in Tarkov, and that's just how it is, and you just can't let it mess with your head.
I've left parts of my soul in Tarkov dashing at this point. I think we all have. But it's... I love the game.
And even Shroud, in my opinion, doesn't wipe every raid, and he isn't the best at the game. And very often he will not even see most of the PMCs on the map because they know how to avoid fights.
Yeah,
that's also a huge part of the game. You don't have to PvP. If you know how to play the game, you actually don't need to PvP in 80% of the raids you go.
Streamer. Go Labs, streamer. When are you getting? Wait, when aren't you supposed to be good at the game?
Why don't you have Kappa? Because I hate doing quests. Well, I have Kappa. Maybe I should stream the game. Maybe you should.
Yeah, maybe you should. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Like I don't care. My gamma is enough. It pulls out enough money. I don't need it.
Streamer, why are you not using M995s?
I know, right? Yeah. Why no HK? Meta HK, I can give you build. I can also put up 995, good price. Okay. 2% off. Okay, 7% off. Okay.
Which actually brings me to our last topic for today.
Perfect.
Because you just said that.
Yeah.
Putting up something for a good price. The Real Money Trader countermeasures BSG has taken and the false positive bans we have.
Yeah. The final fun topic for of course we can expand it, whatever, and talk about other stuff. But the of course the thing that's been making waves across the Tarkov category and across the Tarkov community. Whew. RMT, Real Money Trading. Did you notice that Bitcoins, you can't put Bitcoins up on Flea anymore?
Apparently,
They
that
tweeted
was
that.
only very I thought they changed it back.
No, they tweeted that they temporarily disabled that.
Do you know why?
Because that same day, I said I went into that raid and I got, the Ledix, whatever. I got a Tetris as well. And I was like, oh, fantastic. The day I need money and I find a Tetris, I cannot put the coin on the market. But it doesn't matter. You can sell it to therapists. But regardless. But my chat, because they know all, said that it's been reversed. But obviously not.
I don't think it's been reversed. Unless I'm wrong and something's changed. But there's a very specific reason for that. And again, it hasn't really stopped the core issue from what I understand. And again, us talking about this isn't a bad thing, in my opinion, because we don't have bad intentions. And you know what? If anybody's listening, play the game. If you want help, go and join a community who play the game legitimately.
Just watch Sneaky and Glitzy and ask them if you can.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Watch Glitzy. She's very good at the game. She knows a lot about the game, and she's extremely, extremely positive. Very happy too. I love watching Glitzy. It's true. It's true because just like Dashing said, I get a lot of positivity from whenever I go into.
Disgustingly positive.
Yes.
And that's just the bare bones truth. It's unavoidable. But there are unofficial Discords where people go to, where, for instance, kill quests. People find kill quests kind of hard, especially if it's to do with PMCs. They don't necessarily understand the whole quantity over quality thing with those kind of quests, unless you're just extremely good at the game. And people used to use Bitcoins, so they would come in with a bunch of Bitcoins for a certain task. It's pretty simple, in terms of how you get into the same raid without being in a group. I think we all know how that happens. But people used to do that. And in fact, I think they still do that. But what they used to do is put up packs of Bitcoins up on Flea for specific tasks.
What do you mean for the task?
So, for instance, you got to kill 5 PMCs on Shoreline, 5 USEC on Shoreline. You would go and arrange something like this.
Okay, I see.
Yeah. So, in order for them to secure the amount of Bitcoins, apart from you have 9-slot gamma, you come in with a full gamma, but you need 15 Bitcoins for that task. That's what they asked for. Let's just, I don't know the actual numbers, but let's say they ask for 15 Bitcoins and you have a 9-slot gamma. How do you do that? The flea market. Do you put up 2 different packs? Well, that's going to cost you more. Then they have to kind of work back and forth. So they started bringing it in. And I actually got quite a few people reporting that, hey, I just found a random guy. He's naked, or he had a pistol or something, with a Bitcoin in his pocket that wasn't found in raid. What the fuck? Why is that a thing? Boom. They just switched it off, and we'll see where that goes. But of course, I got quite a few people, not so many, but I got quite a few people asking me, of course, after the Russian Community podcast, where I said that if you were in a raid where a real money trade went down, and a lot of the time these real money trades happen between two different people. Person A is the seller, person B is the buyer. That is two-man group. These are usually supported and protected by cheaters. So essentially, you have a group of people who are cheating in a server. That server will get flagged. From what I understand now, that server is flagged. Every single account that was in that raid is going to get flagged and will most likely be put on hold up until they can prove that you, specifically your account, hasn't had any
Yeah, that's
fishy
interesting.
activity or
So
whatever.
you said before that you're saying they get flagged, but what actually happens is their account gets banned.
Well,
But you
okay,
don't know
so
why.
this is specifics. This is now we're getting into specifics of the actual mechanism of how they're dealing with it right now. So those flagged accounts, from what I understand, will now get banned. They will have their account locked up until they can prove that you haven't taken part in the
They
trade.
is BSG. You should not
This is true.
not
Yes.
their
Well,
accounts. Yeah.
well, sure. I should specify. Yes, BSG, but also BattleEye as well.
Yeah.
Because it is something that happens in tandem between the two of them. So
there's no communication between BSG and the account holder as to what's happening. By the way, this is just temporary while we look into things. You just straight up see a message, your account has been banned.
Yeah.
You get an error message, I believe, like Anton did. Ghost Freak explained it in one of his tweets. You get a specific error message. It looks like you're banned for cheating or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and you're right. There's no communication. That's the big issue. There needs to be an automated email system that says, listen, I know it's an awkward situation, but we're battling these guys. You got caught up in the fight. If you don't have anything to do with them, we will see that and we will get back to you and your account will get back to its normal state.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's missing.
What a lot of people don't understand is that if you have been involved in something like RMT or cheating, you would have been banned already. For instance, I'll give you a good example. Robin Live. We've spoken about him earlier. Previous wipe got several thick cases full of both 995 and BP from several individuals. One of them, absolutely legitimate, just made all of his money on flea market, bought up all the ammo, all the best ammo, and just gave it to Robin. That's it. And Robin was,
happy.
Almost shaking, going, am I going to get banned? Like, what are we doing here? Like, hello? So the answer to that is no. The answer to that is you will not get banned, of course. Why would you get banned? Not only, okay, sure, stream privilege and whatever, all of our stuff is recorded, all of it's on the internet stuff. Yet we can do stuff outside of the stream, of course, but a lot of people don't do that anyway. And I think that there's nothing to worry about. So if something has happened in the previous wipe that you are worried about, don't worry, it would have already happened. You would have already been banned 30 different times over. But what is happening right now and what we really have to emphasize is the conversation. You have to maintain a conversation between yourself, the account holder, and BSG. If anything happens, you have to start the conversation. BSG is not going to start the conversation. They won't. They won't. They'll ban you, and that's the end of that. You need to start that conversation.
Yes.
You have to.
And don't start it on Reddit.
Nope. Well, actually, you know what? There was one account that did get unbanned.
I know, but that was because Ghost Freak intervened.
This is true, yeah. And it's actually not just Ghost. I saw this same post in Russian forums as well.
That's another problem that I think BSG needs to address. They need to be able to do that without a streamer coming to them saying, listen, this guy, check this guy, prioritize this guy. Because what I've seen in that thread was multiple people saying, well, I wrote them multiple weeks ago and I still haven't received an answer. Now you make a Reddit post, it gets upvoted, some streamer sees it, takes it on, and it's resolved. That's not friggin' fair. And that guy's right. It's not fair. It shouldn't be like that. They should have a ticket queue where they say, okay, we're working on this, case by case, first in, first out, unless it's a complicated case, of course. But it's not okay when the way it works right now. It's just not. And that's a problem. And that's the only problem. Because I'm pretty sure 85% would understand, oh, okay, I was in a raid with someone doing some fishy stuff. So now they look into that. I know I'm clean, so I'll get my shit back. If BSG then says, like, listen, guys, here's 1 million rubles as compensation for your day lost. You would have probably made more, but here's 1 million. Everybody's happy. It's a free million. That's the part where, and that's when I said it earlier. The communication from BSG is bad. It's bad.
Yeah, they definitely need to be a lot clearer with their communication to the player base, because what you've said to me today is the first I'm hearing of how it actually works, because it's just constant kind of grey areas and mixed messages, and they just need to be way clearer with people, so there's no ifs, buts, maybes, and rumors.
And just to clear something else, which is an extension of what we're talking about here, I was also part of a different conversation where a smaller streamer asked if they were going to get flagged because they were planning on doing a giveaway. They had a junk box full of GPUs and Bitcoins and whatever else, which they were going to give away to their viewers at the time. And the simple answer is no. Not only are you streaming, but you're not giving away 10 cases like this every single day, are you?
The easiest example, every time I go Shoreline, every time I do my farm streams, I die with a LEDX and my gamma, I give it away to my stream. I'm not banned. It's not a problem.
Not a problem. Viewer kits are not a problem.
If I'm somewhat, for whatever reason, lucky and find 50 red key cards in a row and die every single time and then give them away, I probably won't just do that, one key card a raid, because that's wasting my time. So I'll do that more. Yes, they might start flagging me for that. Yes.
Yeah.
But the chance of me finding 50 in a row is rather slim. It's rather slim.
So go on.
Yeah, so with viewer kits, let's say, right, there's someone brand new to your stream, you've never seen them before, they jump in, hey, yo, I want to give you a kit. So you go in, you take it from them, and it's literally, like the high-end gear from every single angle. It's the thickest of thick boys. They could have acquired that through profits from RMT.
Yep.
Would that get flagged?
No. They would get flagged. So what you have to understand is that they can track. Every single item in the game has a number. So that item number, sure, just because you're holding that item with that item number doesn't mean that you are the person that did the deed, right?
Okay.
You just receive. But we can also I can also go slightly further and say that most of the RMT sites, unless they're like super, super, super underground, have BSG representatives on them that watch. They're not part of that, but like they just watch. They see these transactions going on and they then put across, okay, so you paid for this much. Where are we seeing the same, like where are we seeing these items move across? Like which two accounts have just exchanged these items? So they have essentially, we're talking like if it was in a video, we're talking like timestamps to a specific date and time, and then a transfer of items in game, which is also going to be linked to that specific time and date.
You also shouldn't forget that even like if it happens to me, I would know that even a single raid has so many information of things going back and forth between accounts, interactions between players. They still have to go through all of that and analyze that, which means it takes time. That is why they can't just do it in 10 minutes, because it's not automated. It's a manual thing. There is some human being actually going through that.
Also, we spoke about this last time, dashing off stream and off podcast as well. But from what I understand, I may be wrong here, but I feel like BattlEye is building player profiles. And this is primarily to do with cheaters specifically, but also then RMT gets lumped into this as well, because it is something which, just general like player behavioral profiles. This is not AI. This is not like an automated system which then, this person did this and all of a sudden they did something completely different. They looked somewhere else and okay, there was a 5-man team over there. Hello, camera. And so it's not quite like that. It is more of a kind of a human approach to understanding how the player base reacts and does things. Does that make sense? And not just the player base, but the legitimate player base. And then they compare it to the illegitimate player base.
Yeah, I don't know if they're doing it. We could ask them actually.
We could.
But
I don't think they'll. I don't think they'll answer.
We would be able to probably find out. But what that would lead to is, you obviously, like in the future, an anti-cheat tool would naturally go in behavioral analysis.
It was just AI at that point.
Yes,
like
that an AI does. Yes.
Yeah.
But you need data to feed that to the AI, right?
Yeah, and that's the data that we're talking about here.
That would make sense.
Data. Yeah. It's that profile. It's that data profile that they're building right now.
It's like Glitzy always goes with her SKS into the same position and gets headshot. She never learns, and then all of a sudden she doesn't. She must be fishy. That's
it.
wrong.
Banned.
Yeah, that's it.
She survived a raid. Banner.
So no, all of these measures that we're talking about here right now, they may sound scary. They may sound like big and scary, but in reality, it is a measure to protect the legitimate player base. Sure, there's going to be growing pains, just like with everything else, and yes, that may result in false positives in both ways. Do not forget about the people that are actually cheating and then make Reddit posts saying, but I wasn't cheating. Do not forget about
the real
that.
cheaters wouldn't do that, though. It's just the kids that are salty that they lost their account, to be in all honesty.
But
it's not the right way, and there will be a lot of, you said that last week before they started it, Sneaky, there will be a lot of false positives. A lot.
Absolutely. Most likely.
And we will see more. And it is frustrating because you can't play the game that evening or that day. That is very frustrating.
I feel like that's going to continuously be an issue. Like, whenever you're trying to detect people cheating, you're always going to, unfortunately, someone's going to get in the crossfire that,
That depends. It depends on how they try to detect it. If it's a manual thing, like it is at the moment, pretty much, like we're reviewing everything that has been flagged, yes, there could be a false positive. Or because the system is designed that way that we now block the entire base of that raid and then come back and unblock them afterwards. Yeah. If it's automated, you can't really, unless you have a very sophisticated AI watching every player and their behavior, you can only check what's happening on their gaming system, right? If the software sees something fishy there, you're gone. If you're a network admin, as example, doing a job and you have all these tools, yes, that might be a false positive because the software thinks like, you're doing something fishy there with the packets. But if you know a normal gamer with MS Office and internet browser and your games and Steam and whatnot, that you're not gonna get banned for cheating. I highly doubt that. I highly doubt that. And it's just annoying. I get that, but I feel like at some point they will hopefully find a solution to that. If you ask me personally, we'll never get rid of it, Real Money Traders, ever. As long as we have a game where it's worth having more money, where this is super helpful, like as long as rubles are worth something, you will have Real Money Traders.
Yeah,
that's
just
just
the
how
value.
it is. Yeah,
for sure.
Best example is World of Warcraft. Gold back in the day was super valuable, Now it's not really, it doesn't do much anymore. Like gold is not that valuable anymore. Because back in the day, if you had 100 gold, you could buy this mount for 100 gold, which was insanely, expensive. The next one was 1,000. In later expansions, you were sitting on hundreds of thousands. And nobody cared about it anymore. So the selling gold, the real money traders, step by step lost their grounds. And then they added like in-game these coins that you could buy for money and get money. Or by game time. But that doesn't work in Tarkov in my opinion. Because they want a player-based market. And every time you have a player-based economy, real money traders will be there to make a buck. Absolutely.
Yeah. But the main point that we're trying to put across here is that don't worry.
Yeah.
Play the game. Keep playing. It actually doesn't really matter. If you're playing the game legitimately, there is nothing to worry about whatsoever, even if you are.
And I think it's a good message to kind of spread as well, because I was very nervous, like last week or whatever. I was like, I'm not taking anything from anybody, just in case, because it's you don't get the right information. So
and again, from my translation, right at the time, like specifically at the time when I was translating it live, I said everybody in that raid will get banned. Which, okay, sure, to be slightly more politically correct, I should have probably used the word flagged instead, right? Not to flame everybody, right?
Yeah, they flagged the raid, right?
They flagged the raid.
Yeah.
They flagged the raid, and everybody that was in with those accounts in that raid is flagged.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what they said. But no, okay, they came out and corrected, and they said, okay, so no, it's specifically the group of people, which I still don't think is actually the case. I think the raid gets flagged, and anybody who's in that raid will probably have their account flagged and most likely shut down until the appeal. But they will go then, like physically, manually will go through each account and each instance of appeal, and and take.
They unban accounts even without you appealing to them. They do that.
This is also true.
Yeah,
that's true.
You don't have to appeal. I mean,
they should, honestly.
If you don't get your account back within like the next 24 hours after the instance happening, yes, I would appeal and I would say, hey, listen, boys, that's not okay. But I wouldn't necessarily say that you have to. Again, I think the only problem, that method is not optimal. Let's be honest here. But as long as they do it, the only thing they definitely have to add is an email system saying you're flagged because of whatever reason. We're looking into this. Within the next 24 hours, you either have your account back or you need to appeal.
Should be an automated message.
That can be automated. Yeah. Yes, absolutely. But then you know.
Yeah.
Then you know, right? If that and until that happens, guys, just DM on Discord, Ghost Creek, and tell them talk to Nikita, because he said it on Twitter. He said he's helping all the casuals. That's his words.
Ghost.
That's his
get
words.
DM bombed.
What?
Yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame because it does send across a message of being quite unprofessional,
Yeah,
which is a shame. It needs to be a bit more polished.
it does. Yeah.
They love this game. They
I
love the
agree.
community around this
You
game.
can see that. You can
Yeah.
see that.
But that's also
I
their
just feel
problem.
like their execution sometimes is really
Lackluster.
wonky.
It's that is their problem, that they love it so much and that they love the community so much that they want to share all the things and they just pour their heart out, and they don't have this professional layer between them and that community to say,
Yeah.
well, here's a layer, and that separates us right now.
Yeah.
I mean, you see Nikita being on dude, he appears on all these podcasts like you've never seen it with any other company before. It's absolutely insane.
Yeah. It's crazy actually how you see him one day somewhere else, a couple of days somewhere else, and so on and so forth. So active. He's so active. Nice. But it's he talks a lot about, of course, what's happening right now and in the future as well. Whatever's planned and stuff, soon TM. But I think that one man can't put across in he just as good as he is, I just don't think that he can put across as much of the information as he would like to. And in fact, a lot of that stuff should be in writing, but they don't really like writing and they don't really like announcing things, and for good reason too.
I also believe that there is a huge language barrier.
Yes.
And that's a gigantic problem, because when you read some of the tweets, you think like let's take the tweet about the RMT fight, where they said boosting is against our terms of service. This counts as boosting, which is against our terms of service. Yeah. And you think like, oh, but if I'm getting a big loadout from my friend, he's kind of boosting me, so we're getting banned for that. And that's where in my opinion, that's where a lot of the uncertainty for a lot of streamers, etc., came in. Like, oh, if my viewer gives me a viewer kit, I'm getting banned because it's boosting. Mm-hmm. No, that's not. It's just a problem. They couldn't phrase it in a way that it's. Literally, I sometimes feel like they put it in Google Translate. Sometimes that's how it's like, or they like, if when you have a main language, an example, and the grammar in that main language is completely different to what the English grammar is, and then you start speaking in English or writing in English, and then you just use the grammar and all the words and just one-to-one transfer them into the English language. It often comes out completely different from what you want to say. And I very often feel like that's what they're doing.
I had a situation on that same team podcast, because Nikita was on there too. We were on Pestili's channel, of all places. And all of a sudden, that 10, oh, hello, camera, that 10 to, whatever it was, 1,000 people rocked up, right? And you're literally you sitting there live watching that chat, and when Nikita starts talking, of course everybody falls silent because the man is speaking, right? But there was a situation where he did struggle, and he was sitting there for about 30 seconds to 40 seconds thinking of the word that he wanted to say, and I knew what the word was. And chat was just going nuts, going, you got to translate right next to you. The guy's been here for years. Ask him, what are you doing? Sneaky. Don't tell him. What are you doing? Hello. And you know what? After that 30 to 40 seconds, I knew what word he wanted. I gave him the word. And he went, yeah, that word. He said it and carried on. Do you know how bad I felt for giving him that word? Even though on the surface it seems like, okay, sure, I'm just helping him, get his point across. But in reality, it's really rude. It's extremely rude because he's trying.
Yes,
he's trying his best.
It's perceived,
and then there's me, just like just say the word. It's so rude, in my opinion.
Some people perceive it in that way. A lot of people don't. Like when I struggle and I can't find a word, I think it's good when somebody then just after a certain time jumps in and helps me, because
I felt like it was the right time to give it to him, so I gave him the word.
You waited long enough, so to say, for a live podcast. But but that's their problem, right? So very often they don't know.
Again, Nikita's very good at English. Don't get me wrong; like
he's
very good,
but he's not the one tweeting.
No.
And you can tell. He's also not quality assuring everything all the employees at BSG do.
Can't.
Because he can't.
Physically.
Yes. So the communication in that sense often is so misinterpreted by everybody. It's like everybody reads that and goes like, oh yeah, it's clear. And then another one's like, what the? Why? How can you do that? So that's why you get these conversations going in so many directions, because you don't know what they mean.
Yeah.
And it's a problem.
I think us as streamers, I'm sure all of us have had, thoughts about, okay, how should I phrase this? How should I say this? What tone should I say this in?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like most things can be completely taken out of context, honestly.
Absolutely. So it's not like we're being fake. No, it's just we have to take that into consideration, because that's our reputation, and it could be taken out of context by just about anyone. And then, well, there we go. All the negative repercussions that come with that most of the time. But we have to be genuinely, careful most of the time in what we say.
As a streamer, you have to anyway, because in my opinion, and that is something a lot of streamers, especially streamers with a bigger crowd, do not understand. They think they do, but they don't. What they say, a lot of their followers are taken that for serious. They just then go out and act upon that. So what you say and how you say it is so important.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think no matter what size you are as a streamer, there's always somebody that is there watching you that really enjoys you, your content, your personality. They look up to you, and they will take what you say, like you've just said, and use it. And you do, no matter what size you are, you've got to be extremely careful.
Yeah, it's true. I think that we've pretty much covered all the bases here. Is there anything that we want to add or maybe talk about?
I mean, from my point of view, we can invite Glitzy again. No problem.
Okay, actually, go on.
Yeah,
Glitzy.
No, I was just going to say I'd love to.
Have you got another 5 to 10 minutes? Glitzy?
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you came to streaming in general.
So I came across Twitch via an app.
Okay.
On either PlayStation or Xbox. I can't remember now.
Okay.
And I'd never seen anything like it in my life. It was brand new to me. It blew my mind, quite honestly. And I was slowly watching it more and more. I couldn't believe that people watched people play games. It was incredible. Let alone give them money. I was like, wow.
Crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
It seems crazy when you first look at it, for sure.
Bonkers, absolutely bonkers. And then I started watching it more and more. I found DayZ. So my other half built himself a PC. I honestly, at that point, PCs for me were for Microsoft Word and Excel, right? I wasn't aware of gaming on it apart from Minecraft or whatever. So not Minecraft. Was it Minecraft? What's the one? Yeah. Anyway, no, no, not Minecraft. You know the little mines that you move around in the squares.
Oh,
And
Minesweeper.
Minesweeper, that's the one. Yeah. So that's the type of games that I knew was on a PC.
Solitaire.
Exactly.
Pinball. 3D pinball.
Yeah. So my other half built himself a PC.
Okay.
Started playing DayZ and Armor, and I was like, wow! It introduced me to this brand new world. It was phenomenal. So he was tired of me using his gaming account. So he built me a PC. And then in the meantime, I was watching Twitch more and more, and I saw the communities that people had built, the interactions that people had. I saw the positive, um, the positive. What's the word? People could have a real positive effect
Force effect.
on other people. And I thought, that's amazing. I'd love to have something like that. I'd love to have a community that people can come, be themselves, be happy.
Yeah.
I'd love to be able to give some people a space where they can just get away from everyday life and just be happy. So I just one day woke up and I said, I'm going to start streaming. And that was that. I literally I didn't really get anything together properly. I just mishmashed everything. There you go. Press the live button. Off you go.
Like we all did. That's how I did. Yeah.
Yes, and it's great.
Since when are you streaming?
I started very early 2015, I think.
Wow. So you've been here for 5 years. Wow.
Almost, yeah. Well, the thing is, I streamed for almost 2 years, and then I stopped streaming because I felt like I needed to take a step back and focus on life, and the people in my life. I felt
that's
like
very
I was
important.
neglecting life a bit, so I was like, right, okay, I'm going to take a step back. So I took a step back for over a year, and honestly, I was planning to never stream again, but I didn't realize how much that it did have an impact on my life and how much I liked it and missed it. So I came back just over 2 years ago.
That's wow.
And you've been here ever since.
Mm-hmm.
And we're glad to now be joined, be graced by your presence.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's actually true because from when I started watching, there wasn't a lot of female streamers that were watchable. And when I say what I mean by watchable is I can't watch streamers that sell themselves in whatever way, in a sexual way, solely to make money. I find that repulsive.
Glitzy, you were the first stream I came across where it was a girl and it was just hands. I salute you for that.
I don't know.
I absolutely like hands down.
I was looking at that. I was like, yes. Does she not have a face cam? It's like,
she has she has a camera, but it's not on her face.
Yeah, but then, like, I don't know. I came across a stream, and all of a sudden, I was looking up at it. Is that Glitzy? That's Glitzy. She's got a face cam. Like, what? That was crazy. That was revelations.
That's a recent development, though, for you, right?
Yeah.
Well, as in Glitzy. That's actually a recent development for you. But you still, you still cover up and stuff, like, so nobody actually knows what you look like and whatever. In fact, okay, here. Are you ready for this? I approached Glitzy a while back, right? About halfway through the year last year. Well, it was like more or less towards the end. And I said, Glitzy, you coming to TwitchCon? Guess what the answer was? No. Why? Why would I do that? And then I said, but like, TwitchCon, just come. Like, what the hell? And she's like, but then how would I keep my anonymity? How? What do you mean? Everybody would then know. There'd be pictures all over the place, all over Twitter of what I look like. People will know. And you know what? At that point, you said something along those lines,
yeah.
And at that point, I was like, you know what? why do I have face cam? Why didn't I keep myself like mysterious behind the screen? Why? And I was like, I don't know. Maybe people just like I thought that maybe people like the reaction. Maybe I thought that it was going to be easier to connect with whoever's, with
Yes.
viewing.
It's a psychological effect that you have with your camera.
Yeah. Through a camera, but Glitzy transcends that.
I know, it's crazy. Because
you
can only see like literally her eyes, right?
And even that does a lot.
And well, if she has the face cam, which is amazing, but so you can still see her reaction, right?
But again, it's only a recent development on her stream that she's had a camera on like her face. She never really did that, and in fact, she grew way before she even did that. In fact, the first one you did, I believe, was for Halloween.
Yeah, it was. I dressed up as a zombie nurse. Yeah, and it was just a fun idea that I had, and I just thought it went above and beyond anything I've ever done before, and I thought this will be amazing. It wasn't my intention to keep doing it. But the community really, it was a storm. The community really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it as well. Like, the difference between streaming with a cam and without a cam is quite different.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah. So,
Very
and I
much.
thought, well, is there a way for me to introduce this into my everyday? I don't want to do it all the time, but it's nice to have it quite often.
As a treat, almost.
Yeah. And I also did, after the zombie nurse, I also did Michael Jackson.
I remember
and I
that.
done Twitch sings as well.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that
funny.
too. You tried to pull me into
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I was quite drunk at that point.
She tried to pull me in to I sing something. I can't remember what it was, but I was like, you know what? I just did like 7-8 hours or something. I'm so tired. I don't know.
It's beautiful.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Good fun though.
No, it I think the Halloween one, no, the Michael Jackson one I missed for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, as I said, I can give you another example. Sushi Kitty. I kind of grew up on Twitch with her. We were always the same size. Now she's a lot bigger. But she always stayed true to herself, She didn't try to sell herself or to sell her body. And I really appreciate that. But yeah, like there wasn't a lot of female streamers. And now, actually, we see a change there on Twitch. You have a lot, like not as much or as many as male streamers, but you have a lot more than before. And I feel like that's good. That's a good thing. That's a good progress for the site itself.
Yeah, Tarkov in general is the same, really. When I first started streaming Tarkov, there was less than a handful of female streamers.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, that I knew of. Yeah, I'd say less than 5 female streamers that stream Tarkov all round. Now there's a ton, and that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Without a camera as well, which is really good.
Yeah.
Really good. Whether they have a camera or not, I think it's just how they use it. That's the difference, really. Yeah. But I think you set a very good example, not just for female streamers, but for male streamers as well, of course. And I think that your stream is just is a good influence in general.
I hope so.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're not familiar with Glitzyphoenix, the one and only, of course, you definitely need to go and check her out. And of course, if you have any questions to Glitzy, we'd love to see them in the comments below, and go and ask her herself in her live streams.
I will put her channel in the top comment, of course. Trovo.com/Glitzyphoenix.
But definitely do go and give her a follow. Go and ask her yourself whatever questions you may have. I'm sure she'd love to hear from you.
For sure.
But
Right, guys. Thanks for watching.
thank
and
you.
have a
for
wonderful
having me.
rest of the day.
It was wonderful
You
to have
too.
you, Glitzy.
Yeah, anytime again.
Until next time.
Bye bye.
Bye.